Okay, so to move on to something a little bit harder, we're going to go to 12-6. And this time I'm going to start with Excel and then move on to the calculator. And even when you do the calculator, it's best to lay out the cash flows just so you know what you're going to put into the calculator. You don't have to do Excel, but you need to know what values are going to be put into your calculator, since it won't always be this easy, exactly 7,000 every single year. So the next one, at 12-6, it says Labu Products Limited of Perth, Australia has 35,000 to invest. The company is trying to decide between two alternative uses of the funds as follows. The company's discount, and then it gives you that chart. 12-6, the company's discount rate is 18%. Ignore income taxes. Which alternative would you recommend that the company accept? Show all computations using the net present value approach. Prepare separate computations for each project. So separate computations because you need to know the NPV of each project. So their projects are 10 years, so I'm going to move this out to 10 years and just look at them separately. So, okay, so invest in project X. So in project X is 35,000 investment, so negative 35,000, and annual cash inflows are 9,000 for the life of it. Okay, so 9,000 for the life of it, $9,000 all the way to the end. Okay, and oh, sorry, I'll put that lower. Move that down a little bit lower. And then for the second project, it also is 35,000, and then there's no annual inflows, but at the end of 10 years, so they have 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. At the end of 10 years, there's $150,000 coming in. So in Excel, it's important to put 0 because it won't read it as a 0 if you don't put anything. It'll just think that that's the only cash flow in year 1. So make sure in Excel you put a 0 if it's a 0 cash flow. And the life of project is 10 years. So now we can do our NPV. Equals NPV, as we did before, equals NPV, net present value. Our rate, they told us, is 18%, so I'm going to do 0.18, or we can do 18%, whichever you prefer. And then we only do our year 1 to the end, so don't do your initial investment. So that'll give you your NPV, but that doesn't include the initial investment of that 35,000. So we'll take out that 35,000, or add it to the negative 35,000. So that's just 40,446 minus 35,000. So over here we have a positive. So far, Project X is looking pretty good because it's positive. So it's met our required rate of return. So the NPV is greater than 0. So that's great. It met our NPV at 0, and now it's positive. So this is looking good so far. Let's see about Project Y. So I'm going to do equals NPV, parentheses or open bracket, and then 0. Cash flow year 1 is 0, 0, 0, 0, and then 150,000 at the end. Oh, sorry. Oh, and then look, I forgot our rate. So even Excel can correct you because I forgot the rate, which is 18%, exact same rate, comma, and then our cash flows. So 28,000, but that doesn't include our initial investment. So I'll just add 28,000 plus our negative or minus. So that's 28,000 minus 35,000 is negative 6,340 and 33 cents. So this is not looking good for Project Y. Maybe because you just had to wait 10 years to get that 150,000. So just because the time value of money, it's better to have $1 today than $1 tomorrow, because there's more uncertainty tomorrow. What if you don't get it tomorrow? So over here we have a negative NPV. We did not meet our required rate of return. So definitely, if you had to choose between these two projects, you would choose Project X instead of Project Y. So this is how you do it on Excel. So when you look at your calculator, now if I don't want to do Excel, I can just do my calculator. Year 1, I have 35,000. And then 1 through 10, I have 10 years of 9,000. Over here, my cash flows are laid out for me too, so that'll help me with the calculator over here. So, and then, yep, so X had a 5,446 NPV and Y had negative 6,340. So we'll see if we can get that on our calculator. So now I'm on my calculator, I'm going to push F and clear. Everything's cleared out. So year 1, 35,000, negative. Change the sign. I push G, so this is my year 1 CF0. So I need it's this, and this is blue, so I have to push the G button to make it blue. CF0, 35,000, and then 9,000 for the next 10 years. So I'll push G, the next CFJ. So that's, remember, year 1 through however many years you're using. So since this is the exact same for 10 years, I could push, G, CFJ like 10 times, or I could just do 10, since it's exactly the same for 10 years, that 9,000 inflow, and I'll push G and NJ exactly the same, 10 years. So that's just helps you condense down all that exact same cash flow for 10 years. And so 10 years, it's going to be exactly the same. And then my discount rate is 18%. So 18%, remember just do the 18 right straight and push the I button. So now I have all my cash flows in, and I have my required rate of return in. So I'm going to find the NPV, which is F NPV, that orange NPV. So 5,446.78. So that's exactly what I got on Excel. So this is just another method on how you would get the answer. So that's for Project X. For Project Y, might take a little bit more time since it's not even cash flows through the 10 years, but same sort of process. 35,000 goes out, change the sign. This is my cash flow 0, year 0. And then for the next 9 years, I don't have any inflow. So 0, so cash flow, so that's year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7, year 8, year 9, and then year 10 I have 150,000. So year 10, that's my 150,000 coming in. And still same interest or same rate of return, 18%. I just put in 18 and then the I, so I got everything in. Now I'll do my NPV. Negative 6,340 and 33 cents. So it's exactly the same in Excel or in your HP 12C. So that's just problem 12-6, and you would choose Project X, even if you did it with your calculator or if you did it with Excel.